Hi, this is Jeff with Birder's Diary. In this video tutorial, we're going to demonstrate how to reconcile a taxonomic list after downloading it from the Birder's Diary website and importing it. For instructions on both of these processes, see two other videos on the Birder's Diary YouTube channel. The reconcile process is one where you will deal with splits, lumps, additions, and deletions that occurred from a previous version of a taxonomic list to a newer version of the same list. You will often get to the reconcile process from the auto import window after downloading and importing an upgrade to an existing taxonomic list. This video will demonstrate how to use the reconcile wizard that will greatly assist you in this effort, and after it is all done, report on exactly what changes occurred in your list of sightings. So let's get started. The reconcile window is a very powerful window. It does a lot for you and helps you make decisions on when a bird is split. Did it go to new bird A or new bird B? So let's get started. What you see in front of you now is the Reconcile Sightings from older tax list to newer tax list window. This window can be gotten to at any time from the advanced toolbar button right here. It's like a pitchfork or whatever that symbol is up there. Also from the toolbar, Advanced Reconcile Sightings. Now that we're here, it never hurts to always read the little information tidbits on here. But what you want to do, since we're coming from 6.9 of Clements 2014, we're going to enter that in as the older taxonomic list. Tab down to the newer taxonomy field, and we're going to enter in Clements 2015 as the newer one. After that's done, we click Analyze. Now what that does is it goes out and determines what sightings you had things for that the upgrade couldn't decide for you. It didn't know what went where. This usually occurs on splits, but sometimes occurs in other places too. And it's going to list for you all the things that have sightings that you need to reconcile. You need to make decisions on. Okay, so let's get started. Let's click the Analyze button. And up come 5 things that were split, changed, lumped, something happened. And the best way to do this is to typically just go through this list from top to bottom, but you can do it any way you want. Notice up here it says things with sightings that need to be reconciled, 5. You have a count of 5. You can also export this list. Okay, you can export that to CSV format and have it open up in a window so that you can print it out, keep track of this list, maybe make notes while you go. So this is a good thing to have. This report button we're going to use after we're done. Okay, generate a reconcile report showing what changed. But that's after you're done. Alright, so let's start at the top. The first thing, you could select anything you want. I could go there and start there. But let's start at the top. Ostrich. So you have a big green button here and you're going to reconcile sightings for selected thing. Click that button. Up comes the Reconcile Sightings for Ostrich, Strelio camelis. Okay, and you can see here in the top grid or table, I have 2 sightings for ostrich that I entered under Clements 6.9. As long as you have auto, now in this bottom grid, you've got probable choices. Pay attention to these toggle buttons down here, these radio buttons. If it comes up by default with best selected, then you've got a good chance that these are what should be your only 2 selections. If it comes up here, it means that you might be coming from an older version of the taxonomic list and it doesn't match up perfectly all the time. So this searches for new things in the tax list that share the same genus as the missing thing. That's only common ostrich. This one is searches for new things in tax lists that share the same family. Again, only common ostrich. This one shows all things in the new tax list with the same genus. You're going to get a lot of things. So here you get to pick from lots of different things, subspecies and so on. Okay? Right here you get a count of how many things. 6 things are in that list. If we go broadest, show all things in the new tax list with the same family, we still have 6 things. That is because the common ostrich, or the ostrich from 6.9, was split to common ostrich and Somali ostrich. So go back to best again, if it allows it, if that's the way it came up first. In a moment, I'm going to show you what's further down this page. Now, as long as you have this auto button checked, auto show range and modification notes when thing is selected from grid above, it will show a list of ranges and things in that genus. So let's click on just something here. Let's click on common ostrich. Up comes this window on the right. And this is the world, the ostrich world, according to Clements 2015. You can see it up here, Birds, Clements, Cornell, World 2015. You can search this list by pressing Control F when the window is selected. But here's what you know. And you can see that I've highlighted key words in these descriptions. Now the word split, in accord with the Taxonomic Subcommittee of the BOU Records Committee, we split ostrich into 2 species, common ostrich and Somali ostrich. You also have the ranges of each here. You can see that the Somali ostrich, southern Ethiopia to Somalia and adjacent northeast Kenya. Well, let's pretend that I know that this one came from there and that was the Somali ostrich. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to assign it to the Somali. I want that sighting to now be reassigned to the Somali ostrich. So I select this sighting and that sighting only, and then I select the Somali ostrich down here. Now, on the other hand, I may have decided, okay, this one is the common ostrich, so I select that one and I select common ostrich. You can do all sorts of things. You can select both of these. You can hold down the Control key and select multiple rows as you go. Each time you hold down the Control key and select something, it toggles it on or off without affecting other rows. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to take the Kenya sighting and say that I think that was the Somali ostrich. I'm going to click Assign. Okay, I want to assign that to that. And this was a split. I'm going to get prompted. Are you sure you want to reassign the selected sightings? I'm going to say yes. I have 1 sighting left to assign. I'm not done yet. We still have 1 sighting left. This one was in Africa. I don't have any comments, but I know that that was somewhere outside the Somali ostrich range. So I'm going to assign that one to common ostrich. Now, with that said, there's a couple different ways. Let's say I knew that it was one of these subspecies, and I wanted to assign it to the subspecific level. So what I could do is I could come over here, click on the broadest, and select that there, and assign that right there, right? Sometimes this probable choices list isn't going to come up with the exact answer you want to use. Or just maybe you just don't agree with it and you think it was something completely different. That's when we want to use the bottom portion of this screen. Okay, I'll scroll down. I'm going to show you this. What this says is select any name from the new tax list for assigning these sightings to. What I can do here, let's say that I think this was the formerly Syrian and Arabian desert, the extinct bird. Okay, so I'm going to say Struvio camelus syriacus. Now, I've typed that in. You can see that that's what's there. You can confirm that it's what you expect it to be by seeing this, the common ostrich syriacus subspecies, scientific name that, and you can see that this description matches what you see up here. Okay? Now, I can assign any selected sightings up here down here. I can also say show comments. Now notice how over here that this guy is selected because that's what I selected over here. He's shown in red. But if I say show comments down here, notice that now this guy's highlighted in red. So you can quickly find which one you typed in. Okay, red over here matches this down here. I can assign it to that. On the other hand, I can do whatever I want. So this part of the window is for whatever you want. I could say it was a masked duck. Okay, click on Show Comments. Well, obviously northeastern Mexico, and down to South America. I could assign this sighting to that. I'm not going to in this case, but I want you to know that that's what this bottom portion of the window is for. Mass duck. You get the scientific name and the range here. Show Comments brings it up. Now, let's say, nah, I know better. It's this one, and I want to use that one. Just clicking up here redisplays this list and will show you what you selected. Okay, so I'm going to assign this sighting of a common ostrich, or an ostrich, to common ostrich subspecies australis. I'll click Assign. It'll ask me if I'm sure, and I'm going to click Return. Notice that that window goes away, and that there are now only 4 things left over here to reconcile with. Congratulations, you've done one. Now, when I show you a very neat feature about this, some of you big world listers may have upwards of 100 to 150 things to reconcile sightings for. Okay, the neat thing is that this Reconcile utility always remembers where you were at. So you can leave it at any point in time and come back to it, and you'll always be right back where you're at. Now, I want to demonstrate that right now. I'm going to close this. I'm also going to close this window and close this window. Okay, now I want to get back. I might want to do 10 today, 10 tomorrow, 50 on the weekend, or so on. Come back here, either via that button or Toolbar, Advanced, Reconcile Sightings. Set it up as before. Clements 6.9 is the older taxonomic list. Clements 15, 2015 is a newer one. Click the Analyze button. Look where we're at. We're right back where we left off. Okay, so we have King Island Emu. Well, let's take a look at that. Click here. Okay, now you're getting a message here. You've got one sighting, and it's only suggesting one thing that it could be, and it is the best. So that's pretty likely that that is the right thing. Why am I being asked to reconcile a sighting for which there's only one choice to assign it to? Well, sometimes there's a change in another taxonomy that requires both taxonomies to change in order to stay in sync across all the current tax lists in Birder's Diary. Your action's simple. Just choose the only option in most all cases and assign all your sightings to it. Okay? So I'll click OK on that, but I want to see what happened. So let's click on this emu. Let's see here. We have a lump. Formerly the Kangaroo Island, formerly Kangaroo Island emu, I guess, extinct. The extinct dwarf emu. Okay, this is not us. Ah, here we go. This guy. Formerly the King Island emu. It's extinct. Last reported 1850. We do a lump. Clements did a lump and a name change. The extinct dwarf emu on King Island is lumped with the mainland emu. So this explains what happened. This was a separate subspecies or species before. It's now being lumped with this subspecies. So all you have to do is select that sighting, select that choice, click the Assign button, and away you go. Okay? Now, let's return back. We've finished all sightings for the King Island emu, and the Return button highlights in green. Let's go back. Now we're left with Australian shoveler variegata and 2 others. So let's go through that. Again, only one thing. Well, what happened here? Now, this is a New Zealand subspecies deletion in this case. So these subspecies went away. I may decide I know better. I don't care what Clements 2015 says. I want that sighting of that subspecies, Australian shoveler variegata, to be carried over to the new list. You can do that right here at the click of one button. You can add this thing to the new taxonomy with the same classification and assign the sightings to it. So I can transfer, even though the new Clements taxonomic list doesn't show a subspecies for this, Anis rhynchatus, I can add it right here with the click of that button. Let's say I wanted to, just for the sake of demonstration here. Where this button's really useful is if back in the previous version of Clement 6.9 you created some spews or hybrids or forms or something, such as, well, I can't think of one now, but such as any hybrid, any spew or something, that's going to come up here as, we don't find this in the new tax list. What do you want to do with it? Well, you want to transfer it over. You may have had an unknown raven to find in your old tax list when you couldn't figure out whether it was Chihuahuan or common raven. So you use this button to assign the thing to the new taxonomy. I'm going to do that now just for demonstration's sake. The old thing, classification not used in the new taxonomic list. This will move the old thing over, classify and sort it appropriately in the list. Then it will also move all sightings over with it. Proceed? Yes. It's done. And the return button highlights as green. So I click return. We're back to orange-footed scrub fowl and olive ibis. So you'll go through this and you'll continue just like that till you finished everything in this list. Only after you have finished reconciling all things in this list will your life counts using the new taxonomic list or the old one be correct. I'm sorry, just using the new one be correct. Okay? I want to show you one other thing. Orange-footed scrub fowl. So let's say you're here and the orange-footed scrub fowl, what happened here? Well, that doesn't tell me much here. Let's see here. Oh yeah, revise the range description for subspecies. No. Reassign subspecies. Subspecies bruensis, previously classified under orange-footed scrub fowl, is transferred to forester scrub fowl. So what happened is a subspecies got moved. Now, why is that important? You may have just logged that as the species. So you need to know whether, well, was that subspecies that should now be a forester scrub fowl or an orange-footed scrub fowl. Okay? The other thing you can do is see this Clements button up here? If you're doing this for the Clements website, if you click on that, up will come a website, the Clements website, that shows you what changed. And you can read their documentation specifically about that, okay? Notice it goes right to that. That's what that button's for. You can use that there. You can also use web search just to do a random web search and so on. Okay? So I'm going to select this, select that, assign it, click yes. We're done. No more sightings. Click return. Let's do one more because I want to show you the report at the end. Let's see here. Olive ibis. What happened to the olive ibis? Well, he was split. If you take a look at the other option here, the Sao Tome ibis, it was a split from olive ibis. So if you saw this on Sao Tome Island, Tome, then it probably was that. Let's say we did see it there. So I'm going to click on that, assign it there. Okay? And we're done. We're going to click return. You get a little congratulations message. All sightings have been reconciled. Click on the report button to view a reconciliation report. Now this is really powerful. This is a really nice report that I'm going to show you. So let's click on that. Let it run. And what I have to do here is scroll this over to show it to you. Here you go. This is a Birders Diary Reconcile report. So species lost 2, species gained 2. Okay? That's what happened. Your life list went from 6 to 6. Okay? And then you get details per observer. Okay, so sample observer, here's the overview, and here's the details of everything that changed. Okay, everything. So this one got reassigned by the user to this, so on and so on. Okay? That is a very powerful report that allows you to understand why your life list changed and what changed about it. And that concludes the lesson on importing and reconciling a new taxonomic list. I hope this was informative. It was sure long, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.